welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom. And in this video, we're going to be looking at an interesting old film. So this is Agatha Christie's The Orient Express. No, this is not the 2017 film. I may look at that myself. This is 1974, so I may do a comparison. We'll see. Now that I realize there is a 2017. But this is a very well-known film. It's based on Agatha Christie's book of the same name, Murder on the Orient Express. Now, what this is you have her, Agatha Christie's well-known detective, Hercule Poirot, who was actually played by, and I did not realize this, Albert Finney, who I'm more familiar with, was in both Big Fish and Erin Brockovich. So I was shocked, but he plays Hercule Poirot. And this was actually the last of her adaptations that Agatha Christie saw, and she actually did enjoy it, and she thought Albert Finney did a very good job. The premiere of this was her last public appearance before she died. So it's an interesting film. So you have Poirot. He's trying to get back to London, so he's getting on the Orient Express. He knows the owner. The owner gets him on, and it's the Orient Express at the time went from Istanbul to Calais, and then of course you would take a boat to London. So what happens is a murder happens. You have this American who's on board who apparently has a lot of money, and he is murdered. And before this, you get the film starts with the kidnapping and murder of this young girl. And I think her nanny committed suicide her nanny didn't commit suicide. Both her parents committed suicide, I think. And then at least two other people who worked for them committed suicide as well. And you had a little girl who was murdered despite them paying the ransom. So, and this American guy is you kind of figure eventually it's revealed that this is the murderer. So what happens is this guy's killed. Nobody really knows who he is. Well, at least Poirot does not know who he is. But they're snuck in the snow. And I don't know where they are, whether they're trying to think what country they are. I can't remember. It's not Turkey. They're out of Turkey by this point. But they're in, I think, Eastern Europe. So they're heading up. I know they have not hit, I do not believe they hit Germany, but they're stuck in the snow after this guy is murdered. So they have until they dig them, until they are basically, help comes and digs them out for Poirot to figure this out, or essentially it's going to go to the authorities of whatever country they're in, which they don't really want them to do. So Poirot goes through, he interviews everybody. It's kind of an interesting character study of the different characters. You have Lauren Bacall, who plays Mrs. Hubbard. You have Sean Connery, who's here, is playing Colonel Abernot. You have Ingrid Bergman, who's playing Greta. You have Martin Balsam, who says Bainchi, which is the owner. And then you have Jacqueline Bassett, who I actually know from a film called Sex and Mrs. X. Is what I'm familiar with her. She plays Countess Arundel. You have Jean-Pierre Cassel, who plays Pierre, who's one of the porters. And I have no idea who this guy is. John Gilland. Again, this came out in '74. Anthony Perkins, who I believe was in Psycho. He plays a character by the name of McQueen. He's the assistant to our murder victim. And you have Rachel Robert, who plays Hildegard, who is the maid to Countess Arundel. You have Vanessa Redgrave in here, who plays Mary Devon. Of course, obviously, a lot of these people are much, much younger. And it's a good cast. But essentially, what ends up happening is Poirot discovers that everybody on that train has some stake in wanting this guy dead, and they all killed him. So everybody, they all pretty much stabbed him. Everybody stabbed him. So it wasn't one person. It was they knocked him. His porter knocked him out, and everybody killed him. I think his assistant had been the prosecutor's of the case's son, and he had gotten to know the mother of the child, and she has been nice to him, so he wanted him dead. The countess was the mother of the child's goddaughter. Her little girl's aunt was on board as well, and I'm trying to think of who else was. One of the policemen who was in love with the maid who committed suicide was on there. The butler, who had actually been an assistant to the man of the house who had committed suicide, so he'd been with him during the war. Sean Connery's character, who's actually not in it all that much, had known the husband very, very well, and he was friends with him. So, and then basically everybody was, and I think the maid to the countess was their cook, was the family's cook. And so, and then the nanny was on board as well. So yeah, everybody had a stake in it. And pretty much, if you have not, I'm not going to completely ruin the ending of what happens, but that is the course of the film. It's very good. It is in color. It came out in 1974. It is rated PG. It's not hugely violent. You don't see a lot of blood and gore. It's very much of an old mystery. I wouldn't say no to elementary school kids watching this because there's nothing that would really disturb them in this. Would they be interested? Maybe. It depends on who they are. You know, your kids. It's a very good, if your kids like mysteries, if you're interested in Agatha Christie, if you're looking at old mysteries, particularly ones that are in a confined space. And again, this all takes place in a couple of train cars in the middle of winter in like 24, 48 hours. So mostly, actually, it's remember them ever going to sleep. It's literally the murder. The entire movie takes place within like a day or two, like a couple of days. It's like they get on, you get the introduction to a lot of the characters, they go to sleep, the murder happens, they get stuck in the snow, and they spend that entire day right before getting dug out, having Poirot figure out who committed the murder. So, and what to do about it. So, it is very, very interesting. So, I may look at the modern one. We'll see. I don't think I've heard great things about that. I may do a comparison video. It's not on the list of things to do right now. I'm filming this in February. You guys will be seeing it literally at the end of December. So, which is I'm doing a series of mysteries I am going to be covering. I think the last one I'm covering is Agatha Christie's. Yeah, The Death on the Nile is the last thing I cover. This is actually the second last thing I'm filming. You'll be my videos for my films this year. What else am I covering this month? Covering the Pink Panther. That will be coming. I've already seen that before. Let's see. The Young Sherlock Holmes is the other. And let's see. And I think that's the start of December. So Young Sherlock Holmes, Pink Panther, and 2 Agatha Christie's. So that's what you're getting mystery wise. So this year, and I am believing, and I'm probably gonna bring more mysteries back. We're gonna do more mysteries in 2024. So you can look forward to that. I have covered, if you definitely want to look at what I've covered this year. Earlier in the year, I covered the Princess Diaries film series. I always have a tendency to cover Black History Month in February. So, as well as I'm doing a lot of princess stuff in January, and I always do spring stuff in March. I always do spring stuff, and I believe I'm doing Tamora Pierce. If the Princess Diaries should be ended by March, maybe. I always do spring stuff, and I'm doing a lot of history. YouTube, a channel called Lindsay D Time with Lindsay, which is Lindsay Holiday, which does a lot of historical um, royalty, British royalty stuff. That's what I'm bouncing off. Did Tamora Pierce this year. In the case of the Song of Linus and the Immortals Quartet, you can check out the Circle of Magic quartets, both of them, along with the Will of the Empress. Those are older videos. Everything should be under Tamora Pierce. Guardians of Ga'Hoole followed that. That took a while to get through. That would have covered all this past summer. And that is followed by another Meg Cabot series, which is Ali Finkel. And then I'm finishing off the year with Catherine Lasky. If you're looking to what's coming up, book series wise, off the top of my head, I'm going to cover the 3 graphic novels of the Animorph series. And I think I'm going to revisit and do more detailed videos on the Anne of Green Gables series. Now I did one big video on those when I just started this channel. I'm going to go back and I'm going to cover them. I'm also going to cover the, go back and watch and cover the Avonlea, or the Road to Avonlea television series. So, and then we will see. I think I'm probably going to throw in more mysteries. So I may cover Boxcar Children coming in 2024. So along with, of course, my other theme months. So all of that is upcoming. So that is it for the this video. If you like what you see, again, describe a lot of stuff I've already covered. There's a lot of other stuff. I covered vaccines this year, as LGBTQ stuff as well. Various cultural history months are always covered. So I do a lot of those. And it is late. My brain is not working. I have a 3-year-old and 4 cats. So, again, like and subscribe. Leave a positive comment if you have one. Check out what I got. Look forward to more.